Well, here we go. And just looking at the question before I read it out, you might enjoy this. In the George Eliot novel, The Mill on the Floss, what is the floss? Headland, river or moor?
Oh, it's a long time since I've read it. I read it at school, but I believe the floss was a river.
Yeah, I suppose even without reading it, you could more or less work it out, couldn't you? Yes, the middle bit. On the River Floss, it's the right answer, yes. Barry. Carol Ann Duffy, who became Britain's Poet Laureate in 2009, was born in which city? Swansea, Birmingham or Glasgow?
I believe she's Welsh, so that would make her born in Swansea.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
She's Scottish, isn't she?
She's not Welsh, then.
No, from Glasgow.
Oh,
Glasgow.
oh dear. Hang my head in shame.
Well, so we shouldn't laugh, but that really, you were so confident about it, Barry.
I thought she was Welsh for some reason.
Straight in there. Yeah, well, good news, Muriel. Right, a steady brain here will get you into the final round. 2 more correct answers guarantee that now. Muriel, prompted by the objections of his friend Edward Bulwer-Lytton, Charles Dickens wrote an alternative, happier ending to which of his novels? Great Expectations, Little Dorrit or David Copperfield?
I don't know the answer to this one. Thinking about the endings of them, I would guess Little Dorrit. Yeah, I'll go for Little Dorrit.
OK, Little Dorrit. Not familiar with it myself. I mean, is there an awful ending to that that could be cheered up?
I think she dies. I could be wrong, but I think Little Dorrit dies at the end.
OK. It's not Little Dorrit, though. I'm afraid not Little Dorrit. It is Great Expectations. Well, Great Expectations was the novel in question. Didn't get that, Muriel, but of course you're insured by the fact that Barry didn't get his first one, so the best he can do is draw level here. Barry, which British sculptor lived and worked at Trewin Studios for 25 years? Henry Moore, Barbara Hepworth or Jacob Epstein?
Could you spell that, please?
T-R-E-W-Y-N.
W-Y-N. Not sure. Henry Moore, of course, was from Castlefield. Trewin, it sounds Cornish, and Barbara Hepworth lived at St Ives in Cornwall, so I will go for Barbara Hepworth.
Yeah, identified the links there. It's the right answer, Barbara Hepworth. So you have levelled it up. Still everything to play for both players, though. Muriel, whose work entitled Le Bateau was reportedly hung upside down by mistake for nearly 7 weeks by New York's Museum of Modern Art in the 1960s. Is it Willem de Kooning, Henri Matisse or Marc Chagall?
Ooh, again, I don't know. Could be any of them, really. I'll try Marc Chagall, but it's purely a guess.
OK, Chagall for Le Bateau, hung upside down. It's incorrect. No, it's not Chagall. Barry?
It's Henri Matisse.
It is Matisse.
It's an easy mistake to make because it's a picture of a boat with a sail and it's reflected in the water, so it's difficult to see which side was the correct side.
I see, and given the style it was done in.
Well, the Impressionist style, there's no clear-cut lines or anything.
OK, so there we were, Le Bateau. Upside down for 7 weeks, but Barry takes the round now if he gives me a correct answer here. Barry, who wrote the 2004 novel The Plot Against America, in which the author imagines that Charles Lindbergh wins the 1940 US election instead of Franklin D. Roosevelt? Is it Philip Roth, Don DeLillo or Jonathan Safran Foer?
I'm not sure. I've come across this book and I remember reading synopsis of it, and it was a very interesting book because Charles Lindbergh was really quite an unsavoury character in his political views. But I think I will go for Philip Roth.
Philip Roth for The Plot Against America. It's the correct answer, Barry. How have you won this round?
I don't know.
I'm going to disqualify you after Carol Ann Duffy answer there. You should have lost 2 points for that. So incorrect was that. Muriel, bad luck. Means you won't be in the final round. Barry will be there. I'll let you in just this once, Barry. Would you both please come back and join your teams? So this is what we've been playing towards. It's time for the final round, which, as always, is general knowledge. But I'm afraid those of you who lost your head-to-heads won't be allowed to take part in this round. So, Muriel, David, Paul and Tim from Spectacular, would you leave the studio, please? So, Geraldine, you're playing to win spectacular £9,000. Barry, Pat, Judith, Kevin and CJ, you're playing for something which money can't buy, the Egghead's reputation. As usual, I'll ask each team 3 questions in turn. This time the questions are all general knowledge and you are allowed to confer. Geraldine, the question is your one brain better than the Egghead's 5? And Geraldine, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first, please.
Very best of luck, Geraldine. Here's your first final round question then. Printemps is the French word for which season? Winter, summer or spring? Printemps is the French word for which season? P-R-I-N-T-E-M-P-S. French word for which season?
I seem to remember that the word for winter is hiver. I can't quite remember the word for summer, but I think printemps is spring.
Spring is correct, yes. Good start, Geraldine. Eggheads, what name is given to a female viceroy or the wife of a viceroy? Vicerita, vicereine or vicera? What name is given to a female viceroy or the wife of a viceroy?
Vicereine.
Vicereine. Vicereine.
Vicereine.
Vicereine.
That's vicereine.
Vicereine is the correct answer, Eggheads, yes. So 1 each and a good start from Geraldine. Your second question. Which footballer scored for Arsenal in consecutive FA Cup finals in 2001 and 2002? Thierry Henry, Freddie Ljungberg or Robin van Persie? Which footballer scored for Arsenal in consecutive FA Cup finals in 2001 and 2?
Well, I have absolutely no idea which of those even played for Arsenal. So it's going to be a complete guess. And I'll go for Robin van Persie.
Robin van Persie for consecutive goals in the FA Cup finals of 2001 and 2. They're all Arsenal players. That's not the right answer, though. It's Freddie Ljungberg. Well, bad luck with that one, Geraldine. That's the problem with being whittled down in those head-to-heads. Not much strength and depth if it comes to a subject that you don't enjoy. Eggheads, plenty of strength and depth there, unfortunately. Your second question. In 1965, the fashion designer Yves Saint Laurent created an iconic dress inspired by which artist? Mondrian, Warhol or Picasso? In 1965, the fashion designer Yves Saint Laurent created an iconic dress inspired by which artist?
The dress with the blocks of colour
and lines.
with the black divided by black lines. I think that was Mondrian. I mean, obviously it's Warhol, so 1965. So it's obviously Warhol's vintage. But then what would he do with Warhol? You know,
Marilyn Monroe's or beer.
Silk screen suits or something like that.
Campbell soup cans.
Yes, it's like
Mondrian's.
yeah.
I'm sure I've seen it.
Yeah, sort of white background,
Yeah,
like
a
mini dress, white background with blocks of colour divided by black lines. I think that. Yeah, I think it's Mondrian.
We think his dresses were modelled on paintings by Mondrian.
Is that where you got your shirt, Pat?
I don't think this is typical Mondrian, no.
It is the right answer, yes, Mondrian. Right, well, you need to get this, Geraldine. What type of domestic object is a rummer? A drinking glass, a candlestick or an armchair? What type of domestic object is a rummer? R-U-M-M-E-R, a rummer.
I have to say I don't know this one either, so this will have to be some sort of a guess. I would imagine that a rummer being a drinking glass is too obvious. So I'm going to guess one of the other two. I'm going to go for armchair.
OK, an armchair. Thinking drinking glass, too obvious, and armchair. Rummer is an Eggheads?
Drinking glass.
Drinking glass.
A drinking glass, Geraldine. That's annoying, isn't it? It means, Eggheads, you've won. Well, Geraldine, well played there in the final round. Always difficult against so many Eggheads, but the